Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Wednesday. And my arm's getting hot. The sun's shining through the window. We have sunshine. We have sunshine in Hampshire. And pretty clear blue skies, bit of wispy cloud. But we have sunshine. We've had lots of rain. We have sunshine too. Good morning, little Miss Themo. As always, if you are watching, do please pop a hello in the comments so that I can see and know that I'm not on my own and, usual jazz. Hope everyone's okay today. The world is mad as usual. No Eric Cam this morning because I've got a new setup, but he is here. Sitting in your bed, aren't you? Watching out the window for the pigeons and the mice, which he barks at and thankfully has never caught. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Jay, in damp in Cornwall. Yeah, but Cornwall's beautiful. It is a lovely place. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Mary. And good morning, Karen. Good morning. Welcome, everyone, to another Wednesday. Hurrah. Supposedly the most productive day of the week. Just letting you know. Good morning, Sasha. I wonder why it's the most productive day of the week. I have no information to back that up or proof. We are going to be talking this morning about the mother aspect of the goddess. And I know the triple goddess idea is a bit of a subject. So it'd be interesting to see where we go with it. I did the maiden back in the spring. And as it's now the summer, I thought we'd tackle the mother. So we'll see where it takes us. Good morning, Kerry from Clanelly. I hope the weather's nice for you. Pete's working in the office. Eric's sleeping because he does that quite a lot. Sleeping or barking, really. That's about it. Lazy dog. So any thoughts on the mother aspect of the goddess today? Pop them in the comments and we'll see where it takes us. Ideas, thoughts, opinions. We'll run with it. We'll see where it goes. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Karen. Really hot outside. Yeah, I hadn't realised actually how warm it was. I can feel it on one arm. The sun's just catching the corner of my shoulder. It is warm out there today. But the garden is thriving. It's getting a bit jungle-like, actually. But Mother Nature's doing her thing. So it's good. It's all good. Good morning, Susan from sunny West Sussex. Not far from me at all. Jane, all mothers are goddesses. Oh, absolutely. But there is that whole thing with the idea of mother, isn't there, which we're going to delve into later. All phases of the goddess are for everyone. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. Good morning, Kayla. Good morning, Mandy. Good morning, Charlie. Really missed the Wednesday wisdom and giggles. Well, I can generally promise giggles. I'm not so sure about the wisdom, but we'll try. We will try. Good evening, Sephora. Darkness and 3 degrees tonight, but the days are getting longer and in bulk nearly here. So Sephora is over in New Zealand, so completely different to us, the flip side to us. I actually thought this morning when I went out into the garden that it's feeling a bit, not autumnal, but there's that kind of end of summer, getting there kind of feel. You know the one I mean. Good morning, Lizzie. Okay, let's get some of these up. So, Little Miss Nemo, mother is the topic that most resonates with me, mainly because my own mummy was my best friend. Also, after many years, I became a mummy myself, and it is a big, big aspect of the goddess, but not the only one. Let's have a look. Mary Ann, always get unnerved by the word mother as I never had children, even though I know I have nurturing jobs in my life. And I think that's the important thing to remember, that the term mother to describe the phase of the goddess is just a label. It doesn't have to be the word mother. What it does is describe her attributes, her characteristics, her energies. But I think the word mother carries quite a heavy weight with it. So that's what we're going to look at today. Let's lose the labels and look at the phase of the goddess herself. Good morning. I can't remember who I've said good morning to now. Good morning, Lizzie. Good morning, Kerry. Karen, what summer? It's been a bit weird. I keep looking up at the lights rather than the camera, so I apologise for that. Rain's gone. Jane, I got to round up the fur babies for their MOT today. Very stressful. Oh, yeah. Getting pets to the vets is never fun. Eric actually knows the vets, and when we walk past it, he walks as far away from the gate as he can. He kind of steers out to the edge of the pavement. Little Miss Nemo. I smelled the autumn smell yesterday morning. Sweet, dark, dusty whiff of the ending of the growing year. Yeah, I did notice it this morning for the first time. Before I think of all the Catholic nuns, not many children amongst them. No, I don't think that's allowed. Little Miss Nemo attributes, I agree. Yeah, we need to have a look at it. Absolutely. Jane nailed it. Having a womb is not a prerequisite to being a mother. All you need is a heart. Absolutely. And you don't need a womb for working with the mother phase of the goddess. You don't need a womb for working with the attributes of the mother goddess or for identifying yourself in that phase of the goddess. It is not required. Absolutely not required. Good morning, Trudy. So this, I wrote a book on the triple goddess, in case you didn't know. When I was writing it, I came across this problem that some people have with the names, the terms of the phases of the goddess, and mother seemed to be the biggest sticking point. So I asked people to give me different names. What else would you call the mother phase of the triple goddess? And I mean, it is just a label, so you can call it whatever you want to. Absolutely call it whatever you want to. But there were some good suggestions. And I must admit myself, I tend to work more with the seasons, which is why I spoke about the maiden in spring and I'm talking about the mother in summer. Because for me, maiden, mother, matriarch, crone fits into the 4 seasons. So rather than thinking about her as the mother, you could think of her as summer energies. You could think of her as experience, productive, provider. For me, I think a big one is nurturer, because I think that is a big part of what the mother goddess phase does. But what other names can you think? I mean, there's teacher, there's creator, there's nurturer, caregiver, maybe. There's lots of different ideas, but you can put your own labels on them. You don't have to stick with the ones that we are familiar with. If the word doesn't resonate with you, if the label doesn't resonate with you, change it. Good morning, Colin. Just put a pot of soup on for my lunch for the next 4 days. Yeah. Big pots of soup, they last a long time. Marianne, nuns, yeah. Who'd have thought we'd have mentioned nuns in there? But yeah. Sephora says maternal. Yeah, I think that probably, does that tie in a bit more with the word mother? Does that make it sound like you need to have children? Because you absolutely do not. To associate with the mother phase, to work with the mother phase, to use the mother phase correspondences, the attributes, the characteristics, you do not need to have had children. I think the whole idea of mother is about birthing something, maybe, but it doesn't have to be children. It could be that you have the 4-legged furry type of children, or 2-legged feathery type, anything, you know, cats, dogs, birds, llamas. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. Love a llama. But then I'd like a pig and a goat and a chicken too. So, but my garden's not big enough. So you could be caring for animals. You could love gardening. You could love houseplants. You could be caring for houseplants. You could have birthed your own business, your own project, your own hobbies. All of those things for me come under the characteristics of the mother goddess phase. It does not have to be children. Let's have a look here. Good morning, Leslie. My mouse isn't working. Here we go. Lucy, the mother is a little complicated because of the sociological constructs that is put up from modern life and tradition. Yeah, but it's the word. You've kind of highlighted, really. It is the word mother. So let's get rid of that word if you want to. I have to admit, I am a mother. I'm proud to be a mother. So for me, it works. And I'm going to hang on to that because I am proud to be a mother. But if it doesn't work for you, get rid of it. Use a different word. It is just a label. So we need to move aside from those labels and look at the actual characteristics and the energies of the mother goddess. Good morning, Angela, in a sunny, rainy France. Yeah, that's been the week so far in England, really. Colin, I think of her as the triple, mother, maid, and crone. Yeah, as I've spoken, traditionally, I say traditionally because it's actually quite a modern idea. Maiden, mother, crone, it's the triple goddess. But in modern society, I think there's too much of a gap between the mother and the crone. My children are in their 20s and in their late teens. So I don't think of myself necessarily as the mother that has to look after the children. Like you still do. You always do, don't you? But I don't have to care for them all the time. But I'm not ready to be a crone. So I put the matriarch in there because that feels like the stage that I'm at the moment. But you have to do what works for you. You do have to work. Sephora, have a mother and she ain't that maternal. Well, yeah, it happens, doesn't it? It does happen. So I think we need to move from that idea of the word mother if it doesn't work for you. Miss Nemo, my mother's word was law, was a combination of strict and liberal yet balanced rather than swinging this way and that. Mother's always right. Absolutely, Claire. A lot of writers say their books are like children. So for me, it is that nurturing, that birthing process can be anything. It might be your business. It might be you write books. It might be crafts that you make. It doesn't have to be children. Emma, I like the idea of summer or fire. For me, that works. If you think of the goddess phases as the seasons, it ties in really nicely with the characteristics of each of the seasons. Good morning, Anne. Colin, fur baby. Ooh, got the wrong one up there. Fur baby is precious, although Lizzie suggested maybe her name should be Princess. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's all about pets, isn't it? Susan, I am not mother, but I had a wonderful one, so mother works for me. It has to work for you, but it is just a label. So think more about the characteristics of it, the energies of it, which we'll have a look at in a second. Little Miss Nemo, find that I feel nurturing towards my daughter's classmates and fall naturally into teaching for life mode, even when it's helping to make a paper plane. The kids always used to come to our house. They did always come to our house, my children's friends and everything. It was always our house they came to. And that's quite special for me, really. Hello in sunny South Yorkshire. I went to York as a teenager. Beautiful place. And not ready to be a crone, as my mother wasn't maternal, so I feel that I'm still young at heart. There is that gap, isn't there, I think, between mother and matriarch. There is quite a big, mother and crone rather, there is a gap, so matriarch works for me. Yeah, Little Miss Nemo, term matriarch works for me as well. Thanks for the extra stage. Oh, it's not my idea. It's just an idea that I found and thought, yeah, let's go with that. Some people call that matriarch stage queen as well. I have not managed to persuade my family to call me Your Highness yet. I've tried, but they're not having any of it. Susie, good morning. I have been contemplating the label mother too. Mothering is not necessarily the birthing of a new generation, but the nurturing of it. Education and healthcare are part of it. I'd not thought of it from that point of view. Yes, that makes absolute sense. Yeah, absolutely. Sephora, could we change it to girl, woman, and matriarch? You can call it whatever you like, Sephora. You know, they're labels. So you can call it whatever you would like to call it. It has to work for you. Kerry, the word mother conjures up the film Psycho. Ooh. Okay. Or Disney film Tangled with the song Mother Knows Best. That's quite harsh. Good morning, Lee. I have no human children and I don't mind it too much. I think of it a stage of settling into your true self, as you say, a birth stage or a rebirth as such. We can be mother to many humans in our life. Brilliantly put, Lee. Brilliantly put. Miss Nemo, the child mother was right there and looked very slightly miffed when I stuck my oar in with said paper pen. Lee doesn't mind the time. It has to work for you. They are just labels. It's a thinking more about the characteristics of it. Sasha, I feel like I've been in mother or maternal mode since I was very young. I seem to have skipped the maiden phase. It happens. Different lifetimes, isn't it? Different lifetimes. And I'll tell Pete he needs to get it right and call you Queen. Oh, yeah, he does. And it's the kids that won't call me, Your Highness. Pete looks after me. Don't feel like a crone, although in late 50s. Yeah, I mean, I'm 54. Yeah, 54, 55 this year. I'm not ready to be a crone yet. I'm not nearly wise enough to be a crone yet. Little Miss Nemo, but maiden is so poetic. Oh, yeah, I must admit, for me, maiden mother makes. We'll talk about the matriarch in the autumn. We'll talk about the crone in the winter. But for me, it works. But it doesn't work for everyone. It has to be right for you. Sasha, I also wondered whether the mother stage is the beginning of creating or nurturing our legacy stage. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Absolutely. Oh, lots of comments all zinging up the page. Hi, Hazel. Didn't have children and do find even pagans can be quite exclusionary when talking about being a mother. It's interesting, isn't it? And I think perhaps it is something that we need to change. Let's move outside of these labels. Let's move outside of these kind of stereotype things. You can birth, you can nurture anything. It doesn't have to be children. And you don't need children to make your life complete. I think, we've got to move past that. We do have to move past that. But for me, the mother phase of the goddess is more about her characteristics. And I think that's what it needs to be. Hi, Karen. So for me, the mother, what energies, what attributes, what characteristics does the mother goddess conjure up for you? What would you call upon the mother goddess to help you with? What spell work, what rituals, what energies of hers would you call upon her for? Now, I've got a list from the book. For me, I think balance and caring, discipline, fertility, but kind of not the kind of maiden fertility, but more of the fertility of birthing new things, fulfillment, giving and growth, because you are still in that stage, guidance, healing is another one, I think, for me, that the mother goddess brings with her. I think marriage, partnerships, relationships, the mother goddess brings wisdom from all of those areas. Nourishment and nurturing, because that comes within the mother goddess. Patience, which is a very good one that I'm rubbish at. And power as well. I think when you are in that mother phase, you do start the journey. It was mentioned earlier. I think you start the journey of coming into your own power. You are really in your own power, I think, when you come into the matriarch phase, but it starts in that mother phase. Protection, and that comes, just think of the mother bear, very, very protective power. Provider, because that's what we do, we provide for people, provide for ourselves as well, really. Responsibility, because, you know, we're supposed to be grown-ups. Supposed to be, note I put the supposed to be bit in there. So I think responsibility comes into it. Self-understanding as well. I think, again, it's the mother stage is about that beginning the journey to find your own power, to step into your own being, to start understanding yourself and your place in life, maybe as well. So for me, there's some of them. Throw your ideas in. Oh, seagulls. Oh yeah, there's a big seagull on the house across. No, thank you. Don't need to talk to the seagulls. Thank you. Yeah, chuck your ideas in the comments about what you think the mother phase or the mother aspect, what her attributes are, what her characteristics are. What does that phase of the goddess mean to you? Sephora, nowadays you can as well. Who's youngest? Started female, now identifies as male. I think there must be some days the goddess decides to rock a bit of female to male. I think it's important to understand that the goddess does not discriminate. She doesn't care what you are, who you are, what flavor you are. She just doesn't care. She is accepting of all. Charlie, I had a disconnect with my mother past and want to be a mother and I'm not. With pagan goddess mother, I feel imposter syndrome and will be kicked out as the basics mother is missing for me. That's interesting. I'd give you a big hug if I was there. And I think, is that because of the label mother? Is it that word that is the sticking point there? Because I think we need to sidestep that and look at the characteristics rather than the actual label of it. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting that, because I think we do. I think we take that name, we take that label, and that's what we see from it. And I think we need to shift from that. But she's there for you. She's absolutely there for you. And I am 57 this year. Will be forever young. Yeah, you go for it. Oh, Eric, that's enough. Oi. I apologise for the dog. Guide comes to mind when I think Willow. Oh, you're in trouble now. Thank you. Leslie, guide comes to mind when I think of mother. My son has told me that I make him feel secure. Oh, I'm always there to guide him and ground him when he's having a bad day. Oh, bless. Guide is a good word. I like that, Leslie. That's definitely one to add to the list. Yes. But that, again, you can guide friends, relations, people you work with. It doesn't have to be the mother-child thing. You can be a guide to all sorts of people. Yeah, that for me, that comes under that mother phase. Little Miss Nemo. Also thinking about it, maiden covers many ages, whereas girl is a juvenile female. On the other hand, I like being called a girl and I'm 54. Yeah, doesn't happen to me very often anymore, but yeah. Jane, I think we become crones when we start feeling like crones. I'm falling to bits now and definitely identify as a crone. I think I skipped matriarch. I think with any of these phases, you don't have to identify with them because of your age. You don't have to identify with them because of where you are in your life. There are no set, okay, you're this age now, you've got to move into the next phase. It's very personal, it's very individual. And I think still at 54, there are some days when I call in the maiden goddess. If I feel I need a bit of energy or I need to lighten the mood or, bring in my inner child, then I identify with the maiden goddess. If I'm dealing with a really big problem and I need some wisdom, that I will call in the crone energies. Doesn't matter what age you are, you can identify with any of the phases. There are no rules. Leslie forgot to mention that he's 23. Oh, that's lovely. That is really nice, Leslie. Yeah, that little Miss Nemo. Yes, we're getting. Oh, Charlie's getting a big hug. You are how you feel inside. If you feel mother, that is part of you. Yeah, and I think that is it. It's the label. Look at the whole energies that the mother goddess brings rather than the label of it. Emma, I was made to feel that a mother had to have children by another pagan. You tell me who it is, Emma, and I'll sort them out. Which has made me struggle with the label. So that's why I prefer summer or the element of fire. I think it is. It's, to that person. No one should ever make you feel like that because it's wrong. The mother energy is the important part, not whether you've given birth to children or have a womb or any of it. Anyone can identify with any phase of the goddess. Absolutely. Jane, mother has the greatest responsibility of all the phases. Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Colin, Celtic mothers rule the household. Mothers rule any household. Any mothers rule any household. Karen, my body says I'm grown up, but my mind doesn't. My body says I'm falling apart, but my mind doesn't. Karen, I love the sound. Oh, seagulls is one of my favourite sounds. We are very blessed to live not far from the sea, so we do get the sound of seagulls. And I love it when I wake up in the morning and I can hear the seagulls. Emma, my mum has always been fun-loving, so that's how I see a mother too, and that's brilliant. It is brilliant. My mother was a bit of a trickster, so that's how I am with my little girl. Yeah, we do take on the traits, don't we, a lot of the time. Karen, the mother phase is nurturing to me, nurturing self, nature, animals, people. That's a good point, Karen. The mother aspect of the goddess nurtures nature. Everyone can nurture nature. That's not easy to say. Everyone can do that. Everyone can nurture nature. And there's a big, huge part of the Mother Earth. And it's in the name, really, isn't it? For that. It makes sense. Nurturing nature. Perfect. Susie, my birth certificate insists I'm 72, but actually I'm like cute a kid at heart. You are as old as you feel, as they say. Leslie, my mother didn't raise me, my grandparents did. Grandparents rock. So sometimes I have mixed emotions with the term mother. We do have a relationship, but I look on her as more of a friend than a mother, as she wasn't there. And I think this is where we need to sidestep the label and look at those energies. And then there are a load of goddesses that are identified as the mother goddess, but not all of them have children. I know, myths, legends, not all of them supposedly had children. And I think we do really need to move away from that. You can identify with the mother phase, you can work with the mother phase and not have children. I'm going to keep saying this until people recognize it. But no, if you don't want to use the term mother, don't use it. It has to work for you. Jane, telling people they must have children is so cruel. Some people desperately want children and can't have them. Absolutely. I do have children, obviously. But we lost one as well in between our two children, and it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. But there's a thing, isn't there? There always was a thing. As soon as you got married, people would then, or as soon as you got engaged, people would say, "Oh, when's the wedding?" And then when you got married, they say, "Oh, when are you having children?" It's perhaps quite an archaic way of thinking about things. We need to come forward from it all. I think we do need to move forward from that idea that you don't have to have children to be complete. You don't have to have children to, you don't have to have children to recognize the mother phase. I'm going to get it tattooed on my forehead. I won't. Sephora, let's drop mother and just keep her as goddess. So you have maiden and then you become your own goddess and eventually you embrace the crone. At 58 this Sunday, I feel crone creeping closer, but I still think reaching a certain maturity is the goddess phase. Being a maiden was the fun and slightly frivolous bit. I like the idea of calling it just goddess. Being in your goddess phase. Yeah, that's a nice way of working with it. Sasha, calling on all four energies feels like there's a village of women that we can connect with like there used to be in days gone by. I love that idea, Sasha. Yeah, that's brilliant. The amount of knowledge and wisdom and insight from the team of goddesses, team goddess. Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah, don't open up that one. Hands up who thinks we should bring back a matriarchal society. Or yeah, I think you are in danger of opening a can of worms. For me, I think it has to be more of a balance. There has to be more of a balance, I think. But again, my own opinion. Where everyone is entitled to their own thoughts, their own ideas, their own opinions. Whatever politics are in charge, it'll be a mess anyway. Angela, you can be just as much of a mother to fur babies. Oh, absolutely, as any human child. Eric is our baby now, absolutely. You don't have to have actually given birth. Thinking of adopted mothers too, they're still mothers. Yeah, and even if you don't have a womb, whatever flavor you might be and you don't have a womb, you can still identify with the mother phase. You can still work with the mother phase. Kerry, I'm 58 and I'm definitely in the matriarch stage as I still have children who rely on me, plus the elder out of 13 grandchildren. Woo! Rely on me a lot. I also missed the maiden stage. I guess a lot of people did. The maiden stage does seem quite short. Really? So I think it's about knowing that you can call back on that energy, knowing that the maiden energy is still there. And even if you're 103, you can call on the maiden energy. It doesn't matter what age you are, you can call on any of those aspects of the goddess. Jackie, good morning. Bit off topic, but Steve and I listened to this. He says, what are the male equivalents? That there is the triple god, various names, youth, warrior, sage, or variations thereof. It could be youth, father, elder. Yes, there is a triple god energies, but they've got various names as well. Little Miss Nemo, grandmothers are mothers. Yeah, absolutely. Emma, we love your it's a dress. Mandala Global Company, I think it was. Really not very expensive at all. They're having a sale at the moment. Hannah, indeed, some actual mothers aren't even that maternal. Yeah, it's not necessarily a given. I am not a natural earth mother. Being a mother was very, very difficult for me. I'm much better with dogs than I am with children. So it's those characteristics that are important. Jane, nowadays the mother phase can go on for lots of extra years when we're expected to look after our grandchildren while their mums go to bed. Oh, we would have been lost without mine and Pete's parents to look after our kids when I went back to work. We would have been absolutely lost. Absolutely. They are. People are in such a hurry with other people's lives, aren't they? They are, absolutely. People like to judge. And I always think it's the whole people in glass houses thing, isn't it? If you feel that you are completely pure, then you might be entitled to judge. Might be. Everyone's different. Everyone is an individual. Everyone walks a different pathway. Yeah, let's not judge each other. Oh, life's hard enough without judging each other. Good morning, Eva. And being a mother is always a struggle. As I went to boarding school, so be maternal. I was never at home, so goddess, here we come. I like the name goddess. That works for me, the goddess phase. That's quite random, Colin. Growing up, there was a couple who could not have children, so they had 2 chimps, which they dressed up and put nappies on the chimps when going out. So I'm not sure how I feel about that either. I am going to judge now. Having said I'm not going to judge, I might judge that a little bit. Unless they were rescue chimps that couldn't be reintegrated into the wild, I do not approve. But each to their own. Each to their own. Never judge without knowing all of the facts. Lucy, Team Goddess. Yeah, I like that. That works. Steve, 65 and feel like embracing my inner maiden, but it raises some complex questions. No, not at all. Not at all. This is where we have to leave the labels aside. The maiden is not just what you picture in your head, a young girl skipping through a field of corn. The maiden brings energies. She brings characters. She brings attributes. It is her energies that you work with. Gender irrelevant. It is the energies of the maiden that you would embrace. So go for it. Hi Vanessa. Those who can't actually have children often adopt. The children they adopt are mothered, although they have not birthed them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jane, sometimes people miss out on enjoying their maiden stage because they've got a mother who suppresses it until they escape into marriage and motherhood. It's human beings, isn't it? Life does get very complicated sometimes. But I think it is important to know that whatever those energies, maiden, mother, any of them, you can call on any of them at any time. Hannah, I think the problem with society today is a lot of people have ignored their maternal and mothering instincts. Personally, I think we need a balance of all goddess phases. Everyone seems to be stuck in maiden instinct. Yeah, I think you're right there. And I think that's an important point too, is that we have all 4 of those energies within us. Those phases of the goddess are all inside us, inside each and every one of us. They're there. They just need us to tap into them. Colin, I am 71, so I'm in the elder sage state. It is whatever you feel you're in, Colin. And if on one day you feel a bit, call on your maiden, call on your youth energy. It's there. It is there. They're all there. Sephora, I think the maiden doesn't end with procreation. If anything, you may not embrace your goddess until sometime later. Exhaustion can be a good reason. And then as mature wisdom overtakes the crone. It is the different phases and the different people. We are all individuals. So there's no set time. There's no, okay, I'm 16 now, that's it, maiden finished. There isn't. There aren't. It's not like, I've gone through the menopause, that's it, I'm a crone. It doesn't work like that as far as I'm concerned. It has to feel right for you. Little Miss Nemo, not very good with babies, much to everyone's puzzlement. My flair is with older children when they start to speak and reason. Daughter's birth mother is a baby person. I don't mind the babies because you can, you put them down, they don't wander off. Karen says, can Pete do his caring phase by making your coffee? He's actually working on an important project just at the minute for his boss man, so we'll let him off this morning. Kerry, I have 3 children. The elder 2 had 6 children each. Wow, 6 children each. Then I had a great-grandchild from the eldest granddaughter to, wow, busy, exhausted. Angela, that has just started, Peter, her husband, saying, am I a sage? I think I'm more of a bay leaf. It's off on a magic roundabout ramble now. Zebedee. Oh, laughter. Gotta have laughter. Jackie, neither my grandmother or mother were maternal at all and just had children because it was what happened then. It was what was expected, wasn't it? Not maternal either, but I do like kids and can relate to them, and I feel a bond with my fur babies, but I think I care for things rather than mother. Well, as I know a little bit about your situation, Jackie, you are a carer, you are a nurturer, but you're doing it the other way around for your mother-in-law. That is the nurturer. That is the carer aspect of it. And that kind of highlights that it doesn't have to be children. It is the mothering aspect, the mothering energies don't necessarily apply to children at all. Disney version on the chimps. They were rescued from a laboratory and went to a life of caring and love instead. But I'll go with that one. No, Anne, you're never too old for any of it. Emma, Mum reminded me how I looked after my cousins and other children at St John Anderson's Badgers and at the first aid tent. Maybe I did mother sometimes. Oh, absolutely. There are aspects where we do all nurture and look after and care for things. It is about losing that title. Hi, Lizzie. Lucy, I feel I did not really have a maiden stage. My mother was so controlling, and looking back, it feels like she stole that from me and used those energies for her own benefit. That maiden stage, that maiden energy is still there, Lucy. It's still within you. And if you need it, call on it. It is all still there. Charlie, thank you. Still like the word mother, just feels elusive. My birthday at the weekend and I come to this live and it is mother. Subtle hint for mother healing, I think. Any spells, ritual recommendations? Shush, you. This is now my children are older. I have a dog to mother. And you are spoiled, aren't you? Are you coming up here? I can certainly put something up, sort something out for you, Charlie. But yes, there is a lot. All of the aspects of the goddess can help us with healing for whatever that we need. Don't lick the mouse. Right. Okay, he's happy now. He's sitting on the dining room chair. Yeah, I can put something up for you, Charlie, afterwards. You can't. No, the dog's licking my arm. Okay. Trudy, I think that I use the elements and characteristics in my practice more than the term mother. I just use goddess alongside as I know what I feel depending on the season. And it is, I think that is the real, and I am going to say it again, that's the really important part of this. If the mother label does not resonate with you, ditch it. What is important are the characteristics and the attributes of the mother phase. Oh, bless you, Charlie. Charlie, I will put something up. If I forget, remind me, just ping me. Sasha, that's such a good point. Social media and image filters have kept so many people trapped in the maiden stage. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it before, and I really hadn't. But yeah, social media has an awful lot to answer for. We've all got to feel young. We've all got to look young. Actually, there was a really good interview. I put it on my Facebook page a while back. It was the actress Andie MacDowell, and she said she was tired of having to look young. She was tired of having to feel young. So she let her grey hair grow out, and she is embracing the fact that she's older. But it is that pressure, isn't it? And I would imagine for the Hollywood stars, the actors, the actresses, there is a real big pressure to stay young, to look young. Little Miss Nemo. Anyone seen the Goldbergs? I have not seen that one. Great portrayal of a kissy, huggy Jewish mother. So nurturing and so controlling for the best end result for children. Actually, we were having this conversation with our teenager yesterday. There's no right and wrong for parenting. There's no exact, this is how you must do it. It's the right way of doing it. We are all stumbling along, making the best decisions that we can as parents. And you don't always get it right. It is just one of those things. But everyone's different as well. Angela turned 62 yesterday. Happy birthday for yesterday. Despite the fact I'm very definitely postmenopausal, I don't identify with my Crohn just yet, but I'm beyond the maiden phase. Not sure what I'd call myself at the moment. You don't have to call yourself anything. Although I am quite taken with the goddess title. I do like that. For me, I'm matriarch. I am stepping into my own power. I am beginning to understand who I am, where I'm meant to be, and not giving a flying flip-flop about what other people think. But I'm not ready to be a crone yet. So for me, the matriarch part works well. But you don't have to call yourself anything. The important thing about what we're talking about today is being able to call upon those phase energies, to be able to call upon the different phases of the goddess to help you, whether you call on them from within or whether you call on them in the form of the goddess is up to you. But it's about knowing that that energy is there for you to tap into. Marianne, love the idea of calling on different energies. I was just saying that same thing. Whenever we want them, often feel I missed the maiden phase since it was so tough. And it is still there. That phase, that energy is still within you, and it is also there as the image in the embodiment of the goddess. And it is there for you to call upon. There we go. Jane, the tarot is a bit unfair. The page is always depicted as male. Then there's knight and king. There's a queen, but no princess. It does depend on what deck that you use. I have seen princess rather than all the male energies. I think it does depend what tarot deck you get. I have seen them. Leslie, my daughter is stuck in the maiden stage. She's still living at home with no signs of moving out. She's 31, but seems to be in a permanent teenage stage. Help. Well, send a team. Team goddess on the way. I think it's quite difficult, isn't it, at the moment? I left home at 17. Not because, I mean, I had a fantastic childhood and my parents are brilliant, but I left home at 17 because I met a pig farmer. So I went to live on a farm. But kids these days, it must be very difficult because the price of moving out is horrendous. Yeah, the financial side of buying your own house or even renting your own place. Hats off to her daughter and her husband because they renting and budgeting, and it's all better than I could ever have done. But yeah. You need team goddess, Leslie. Hannah, I am in two minds about the 4-phase aspect. I think once you're a mother, you are always a mother. Oh, yes, absolutely. And even though you may be a warrior, you are still a mother. I think you are, and I am. I'm still a mother, obviously. Even though my daughter now, she left home, she's living with her husband. My son is 17. Still a mother. Although more of a mother to the dog now than the children. Yes, I think you are always a mother and you don't ever lose that. But for me, I'm not in the having to change nappies and look after them the whole time stage. More of me is coming into this energy now. More of my own, stepping into my own power is coming into it now. And I don't think you ever lose any of those other stages. I still remember the maiden stage. That's still part of me. The mother stage is still part of me. And in a funny way, the crone stage is a part of me too. It's there waiting in the wings. But it has to work for you. Oh, we've got some lovely trolls today. Let's get rid of them. Bear with me a second while I just, bash the trolls. There we go. Got rid of that. Oh, right. Nurturing your children or fur babies never stops. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Absolutely doesn't. No matter how old they are. Sephora. We forget too that our lifespan is much longer than 100 years ago. Making it past childbirth disease to get to menopause came from a whole. Yes, it is. Life changes. It does. And for me, that's why I think I like the extra stage, because there is such a big gap between mother and crone now. But it is, Hannah, you've raised quite an important thing. You never, it's not like, okay, I'm done with the mother stage now, let's throw that away and move on to the matriarch. Those previous stages are always there. They are always a part of you. You don't just throw them away. They're there. They're always there, always a part of you. Little Miss Nemo, I've been caring for my husband who's pulled abdominal muscles, largely confined to bed. It's the caring for as opposed to caring about. Yes, makes a difference, doesn't it? It does make a difference. And I think we do as well, don't we? We, at some point in your life, you do end up caring for your parents a lot of the time as well. So it does kind of flip. Jane, my mum had kids because she was under pressure to provide an heir to the family business. I turned up first and felt I was never forgiven for being a girl. Then my brother came along, flunked out of school and was unable to run the business. Then our little sister came along and she got murder. Times change, don't they? Hopefully for the better. But there were a lot of different ways of thinking, weren't there? Hopefully we've got past them. Dephora, I like Trudy's idea. Spring goddess, summer goddess, autumn goddess, winter goddess relating to phases of life. Yeah, I do. That's how I work with them. I do. I work with the goddesses in their different seasons, which is why I'm talking about the mother now, because of summer. Come the autumn, we'll do a chat on the matriarch. It works for me. I think it's perfect because it encompasses all of the attributes of each season, and they tie in very nicely with the different phases of the goddess. It works. Jane, why would actors feel pressure to look young? They need old actors to play old characters. Yeah, but I think there's that thing, isn't there? There does seem to be that pressure. That's why a lot of them have the plastic surgery and everything. It is a culture, isn't it? And is it social media? Is it television? I don't know what it might be. But there is that promote to look young. All the face creams are to help you look younger. All of the don't dress like that because it'll make you look old. And it's a big thing. Sephora, first rule of parenting: when I know better, I will do better. It's one of those things we do learn from as well, don't we? Angela, I have every intention of growing old disgracefully. Perfect. When I'm old, I shall wear purple. That's a brilliant poem, isn't it? If you haven't read that poem, do give it a Google. It's fabulous. Jane, when you've turned crone, you no longer have to cook a Christmas dinner for everyone. Yeah, actually, yes. I cooked Christmas dinner for the first time last year. My mum's always done it. And yeah, that's true. Hi, Eve. They are. Thank you, Sasha. I knew some of them. The Druidcraft Tarot might work well for you as they've changed those cards to Princess. I know I've got several. Hi, Maria. I know I've got several tarot decks that have princesses in them. Little Miss Nemo. It's like the seasons melding into each other at the edges. You can't have the next without the one before. Perfect analogy. And yeah, I think that's important to remember too. With the different phases, they don't just stop. One day, okay, maiden finished, mother now. They do run into each other like the seasons do, and you never let go of them. You never let go of the energies of the previous ones. Kerry, do goddesses in general, for example, Hecate, Isis, Athena, have different maiden mother crone associations? Yes, they do. Absolutely, they do. I have some mother goddesses here. Any of you guys recommend any mother goddesses? Any of the goddesses you think of as a mother phase? Bast is one of the ones that I have here. She is depicted as a good mother to her two children. I think, what else have we got here? Danu, Irish goddess. She is a mother and an earth goddess, a creator of life. Frigg from the Norse pantheon, mother to the god Baldur, pronunciation rubbish, married to the leader of the Norse gods, Odin, so she's pretty much in charge. Hathor, Egyptian goddess, goddess of song, fertility, happiness, all the good stuff. She's very, very strong feminine energy, Hathor. Hera, Olympian, queen of the gods from the Greek pantheon, goddess of marriage and women and all stars in the sky and the heavens. She's a very good one for marriages and relationships. Juno, Roman goddess. She represents all aspects of womanhood, particularly married life and childbirth. She is the goddess that I'm working with at the moment because I associate her with summer. Who else we've got? Now, here's an interesting one. Mary, perhaps one of the most famous mothers, mother of mankind, if you follow the Christian thought. Although technically no conception was involved, she did give birth to Jesus. Parvati from the Hindu pantheon, gentle mother goddess, also known for stepping up and releasing the wrath of her energy should the need arise. Sounds like a mother to me. There are a lot of them. Yeah, there are a lot of them that are associated. And I think most of the deities can be associated with one or more of the phases. Some of them do overlap. Eve, always a mother. My kids are 41, 45, 48, never stops. And that's a big lie, Eve. You never look that old. You're not that old to have children at that age. You look way too young for that. Sephora, I'm hoping to move towards Stockard Channing's character in Practical Magic. The aunts, oh, their outfits. I want their outfits. Amazing, amazing dresses they wear. Angela's the same. Daughter 35. Solved the problem by moving out myself, selling the family house to her. Well, there's a solution. Yes, Sasha, there's also something to be said for mothering ourselves as well as others. Yes, we need self-care. We need self-nurturing, don't we? So, yeah, that works perfectly. Absolutely. This is my daughter. That's because you'll never get rid of us. No. Love you, Squish. Lucy, we always look at mother in a positive light, and rightly so, but I also remember being a mother. I also had a loss of self too. Yeah, I can absolutely identify with that. I think in the mother phase, you have to leave part of yourself aside for quite a long time. Yeah, absolutely. Hannah, I must feel like this as I have a 4-year-old. I'm be 63. I'll get to my warrior stage. I'll have to be a warrior crone. Hannah, you can be whatever you want. I think that's it. You have to be whatever you want. And has 36, 32, and 18, but also have 4 grandsons. It's chaos. Absolute chaos. Oh, we've got lots of trolls today. Let's get rid of you. Oh, I can put users in timeout. That's quite funny. Right, those are blocked. Let's get rid of those. Sephora, I think old actresses get to a point where they just can't be asked. They have to use makeup on the other ones. I think it must be Dame Maggie Smith. Yeah, some of them do grow old gracefully, don't they? But there are others that seem to fight it. And I think there is a big pressure, not just on actresses. There's a lot. Every day my Facebook feed has adverts for youth serums and anti-wrinkle creams. And yeah. Emma, how about certain tarot cards to use a phase of the gods and goddesses? Yeah, I like that idea, Emma. That would work very well. They all, again, they have attributes, they have characteristics, don't they? So that works very well. Yeah, like that idea. Jane, actresses should grow old properly, like Judi Dench, Glenda Jackson, Helen Mirren. It didn't do them any harm. No, indeed. But I do feel for them because I think it is, there's a lot of pressure to fight it. And actually, each to their own. If you want to fight it, then you go for it. But I do think you get to a point where you think, just no, let's give up. Sasha, I think this pressure to stay young might be down to the Western world no longer valuing the crone stage. And I think you have a very, very valid point there, Sasha. Yeah, absolutely. We don't. It's kind of right, let's ship you off to a care home now. That's, done and dusted. And the older generation have supported us. They have. We're getting to that point now where most of them didn't fight in the war for us, but my grandparents certainly did. They fought in the war so that I could live the life that I live today. There should be a lot more respect than there is. Jackie, the seasons are messed up now. Yeah, yeah, they are indeed. Karen, I wear what I want to wear. I will not conform to your over 60. You should be wearing this sort of thing. Yeah, if you start looking at the beige comfortable shoes and the beige Rain Max, then you know that you hit that. And Sephora, yeah. Persephone's mother, Demeter. She took motherhood to a whole new place. Yeah, yeah. Persephone, definitely. The daughter, and Demeter, the mother. Yeah, definitely. Trudy, I think 1 year off 60, I'm mum, Nana, and I still have a curious mind, childlike, and I love new adventures with all the information I've gathered over the years, and even the crappy times. I have energy and life experiences to pass on to whoever wants to listen. I feel the most powerful than I ever have. Mentally, multifaceted, of course, as I think we all are. Yeah, I would agree with all of that, Trudy. Yeah, I never stop learning. Oh, it'd be boring if we stopped learning, wouldn't it? Oh, Anne's working with Juno too. Yeah, I'm working with her at the moment. She's fascinating. Little Miss Nemo. I like to think that the conception occurred just not. I'm assuming we're talking about Mary here and Jesus, but yes, that makes sense. Charlie, I've always been drawn to Ellen, but don't know which phase she is associated with. Maiden Mother Crone. Is there a classic association? Not particularly for her, I don't think, because she's she's an ancient goddess, but only more recently brought into, or resurrected, that's the wrong word. She's been brought back more recently. I think of Ellen as the autumn, but from an energy point of view, I think of her more in the role of not quite maiden, but warrior maybe type of energy. I think of her as I would Artemis, perhaps. She's not a crone for me, and she's not a mother, but some of them do fall into a bit of a mixture of energies, but it has to kind of work for you. Eve's definitely an old crone, trust me. Yeah, Maria, crone is you finally realizing that nothing really matters and you can be yourself. I think for me, I'm in the matriarch phase, and that's how I'm beginning to feel now. So yeah, put the trolls in the sin bin and start chucking your tea bags, veggie peel and eggshells in and compost a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Shirley Valentine, that film's going back a bit, Colin. But yeah. I'm just having a look at Eve's adverts are for funeral plans. Yeah, I'm with you. We have got a real load of trolls to let today. Let's get rid of that. Obviously, they want to talk about their mums. Little Miss Nemo had hair colored last week. Grey doesn't suit my complexion. I have only recently embraced the greys. I wasn't ready until then. I am now. Many cultures, the elders were revered, but now they see it seen as a burden. Yeah, I think it is a thing, isn't it? It is something that we need to change. So interesting chat today. I think my last kind of comments, I will reiterate. The goddess doesn't discriminate. You can work with any phase of the goddess at any time in your life. Eric's singing. All of those phases are within you. Use the characteristics and the attributes. Forget the labels, but use those energies. Work with those characteristics and those attributes that the goddess can help you with. She can provide for you. She's there for everyone. It's just a case of tapping into it. So thank you everyone for joining me again. Ridiculous numbers this week. I'm sure the counting number is a bit squiffy, but there you go. We will talk about the matriarch in the autumn at some point. Any questions, anything you think of afterwards, pop it in the comments or ping me. Myself and the Kitchen Witch team are here for anyone if you need some support. Really? This is where I have to go into my strict mother phase and deal with the stroppy dog. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic week, and I will catch up with you all next week.